In this lesson, I'll show you how to solve word problems involving the cosine law. This is question 3 in the series. The question reads, two airplanes leave an airport at the same time on different runways. One flies directly north at 400 miles per hour. The other airplane flies on a bearing of 75 degrees northeast at 350 miles per hour. How far apart will the airplanes be after 2 hours? The difficult part of this question comes from understanding this statement. What happens after 2 hours? Notice that in the question they give us the velocity. They tell us the speed and the direction. So let's go ahead and plot those on an XY plane. Starting with the first airplane, which flies north of 400 miles, that can be represented as a straight line or a vector upwards. And we can say that the magnitude of this vector is 400. The other airplane is flying relative to this one 75 degrees. 75 degrees is roughly this much. So this is 75 degrees, and we know that this has been flying for 2 hours at a speed of 350 miles per hour. Like I mentioned, the twist here comes from understanding the following. You can't use 400 and 350. They tell us after 2 hours. This is 1 hour. Remember, 400 miles per 1 hour. So we have to multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2. Multiplying this by 2, I end up with 800. That represents the miles. And multiplying this by 2 gives us 700, which also represents the miles. And we are looking for the distance between the two airplanes after 2 hours, which is over here. Now, if I call this A, B, and C, I have angle B, but I'm looking for little b. I have little c, and I have little a. This means I have to use the cosine law, specifically the one that starts with b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2 times ac cosine big B. Let's fill in everything we know. We know little a, it's 700. Little c is 800 minus 2 times 700 times 800. I wrote it underneath here because I'm running out of room. Cosine of angle 75, and that's equal to b squared. So after finding out what the right side is equal to, I will square root, and that will give me the distance between the two. Let's do this all in one step with our calculator. First, you click the radical button, and you place all your numbers. 700 to the power of 2 plus 800 to the power of 2 minus 2 times 700 times 800 times cosine of 75. Make sure that your calculator is in degrees. And we end up with a distance of 916. To 3 significant figures, the last significant figure is 6, followed by a 5, so it should be 917. So after 2 hours, the two airplanes heading in different directions are 917 miles apart. And there you have it. That is how to solve word problems involving the cosine law.